Now the Massachusetts senior Senator Elizabeth Warren is officially a candidate for president in 2020.
I am in this fight all the way.
We thought we'd gauge the level of support starting with her neighbors right here in Harvard Square. What do you think of her chances?
Slim.
Her record as a fiscal watchdog stands on its own. I think she's a spectacular candidate for president.
On the issues, she is far and away the best candidate. I think she's articulate. I think she's been steady on her economic plan.
And we will not turn back.
What do you think the biggest obstacle or obstacles are for her right now?
I mean, she has to appeal to, young people.
You know, what her family oral history was, and a lot of our families have those histories that are passed on through generations.
Maybe there was a single misstep that I've seen, but I think she's apologized for that, and ultimately people can find her more honest and trustworthy for that.
Do you think that this is the right moment for her?
Yeah, if not now, I don't think she's going to have the opportunity again.
So that is the launching point for our OTR roundtable this morning. And this week we're joined by Republican analyst Rob Gray and the Boston Globe columnist Adrienne Walker. Guys, thanks for joining us.
So you just saw what Ted posted. Warren this week quietly made an appearance at a Native American conference as well as doing the rallies. But there are louder and louder voices, especially from the left, calling on her to directly address the Texas bar application where she flatly stated her ethnicity as American Indian. Do you see her making that speech, Adrienne?
No, I don't think she'll make this speech. I think that she is desperate to get out from under this and that she wants to turn the page. By the way, I think she probably should. I think it's an opportunity to redefine this issue on her own terms, but I don't think it's going to happen.
That was my next question. Do you think she should make that speech, Rob, or should she just walk away, as many think that she will?
Well, first of all, the problem for Elizabeth Warren is that Harvard Square is a lot more connected to the capitals of Europe than it is to the capitals of Rust Belt America. But she should make the speech because these baby steps, like the thing she did this week, meeting with a small group, they keep the story alive, but they don't she's not taking her medicine and putting it behind her. She's off to a stumbling start. And I think if you look at her endorsement of the Green New Deal, something pushed by a under 30 freshman Congresswoman, instead of doing her own big policy proposals, it shows you that Elizabeth Warren already knows she's in a bit of trouble.
And interesting, she did not make a big announcement that she was going to go to that conference, but word did eventually come out, so I don't think they were trying to make that into a
She's
big
trying to
headline.
do enough to say, oh, I met with people, it's okay. But that's not enough.
But when you read the national press around her announcement last weekend, the second fact in all of those stories was about the whole Native American flap. It's clear that she has failed to put this behind her, and she needs to do something big to do it, and not just having private meetings.
And when she was asked in response to the Texas bar application, are there more applications out there with your words American Indian on there? She didn't say no.
Right. No, she did not say that.
She ignored the question,
She ignored the question. All right, here's item 2. Congressman Seth Moulton, 1 week after saying that he wasn't in New Hampshire because he was thinking of the 2020 presidential race, now says that he might. He even delivered a policy speech at the Brookings Institute. Adrienne, let me start with you. Is he running for president? Is he really running for vice president?
All I know is if he's running for president, it's a terrible idea. The most important thing Seth Moulton has done to date in Congress is go against Nancy Pelosi, and look how that's gone. Not only did she get reelected, she has done nothing but do great since she got reelected. There couldn't be a worse moment for Seth Moulton to ponder running for president.
President, vice president, Rob, what do you see?
I think his sights are squarely set on the Naval Observatory.
You've been on record of saying this for a while.
Yeah, I have, and I think even, if he's in it to run for VP, somebody else has the inside track. I think Mayor Pete Buttigieg from South Bend, Indiana, younger, also a veteran, chief executive. He's had a much stronger launch than Moulton, and I think he has the inside track over Moulton.
With 43 Democrats running for president, there will be no shortage of people to choose from for the number
VP,
2 slot.
Absolutely. So is New Hampshire losing its big mo with Super Tuesday just 3 weeks later and a serious number of delegates at stake in the Super Tuesday competition? Not just 4 delegates like it is in New Hampshire. Is the state less relevant, and is the contest now more of a national battle? Let's start with you, Rob.
I think this is an overblown political fact that people think is coming up. Well, early voting means that New Hampshire matters less. I don't think so. It's a political cauldron that you have to survive winning early races and momentum matter, especially in big primary fields?
Adrian?
I think it matters less for a couple of reasons. One of the things is that with such a big field, I think people are really going to be targeting which states they need to compete in. You already see Kamala Harris spending a lot of time in South Carolina, for example. I think the whole idea that you have to start out strong in Iowa and New Hampshire is getting less relevant. And I also think that the lack of diversity in New Hampshire is an issue, because as the Democratic Party becomes more and more defined by diversity, you know, New Hampshire gets less important.
Should we reshape the whole political calendar? Should there be a national primary day like on Labor Day, one? Like we have a general election day, one?
No, I don't think that would be better.
No, I like it. Listen, it's still 50 state elections.
That's right.
And not only that, what would we do?
We'll take a break. We'll be right back.